Bay Packers add a final piece to their roster. Who is it? I'm going to break that down for you guys in this video. If you are new to the channel, please take a second to hit that subscribe button. I talk everything Packers. So let's jump into it. Who did the Packers bring on board? Well, you may or may not know the name Chris Brooks. Chris Brooks, I knew him from last year just because fantasy with the Miami Dolphins and all of that. Chris Brooks looked super good when he was called upon by the Miami Dolphins. Let's take a look and see what he did for the Dolphins last year and also what he did in college. Obviously, coming out of BYU, 6'1", 219 pounds. This dude packs a punch. If you haven't seen highlights on the guy, I suggest you go out and watch some highlights. I watched all 19 of his carries with the Dolphins. Super quick to get out on the edge. Great vision, hits holes hard, not afraid of contact, not afraid of spinning out of contact, all of that stuff. So super exciting player to watch and a guy that I think could add some excitement to this Packer team. Their bench, this guy could even make his way on the field periodically throughout the season for the Packers, just depending on injury and all that stuff. Goes on to say he played 9 games for the Dolphins as a rookie, recording 19 carries for 106 yards, which is 5.6 yards a carry. This dude, he runs with purpose and he gets yards in chunks. That's what I really love about him. He appeared in a postseason contest also, so he's got some playoff experience. Brooks spent 4 years at the University of California before spending 1 year transferred over to BYU, where he registered 130 carries for 817 yards, which is 6.3 yards a carry, 6 touchdowns. Like I said, this dude gets yards in chunks, and he did that at BYU. His rushing average ranked number 4 in single season school history. Some of you might be being like, okay, listen, who cares? It's BYU. BYU has some good rushers in the NFL. One guy you may know over in Atlanta because we saw him last year under Joe Barry's defense. He ran all over us. Tyler Algier, along with Bijan Robinson. Together, that is a dynamic duo in with Atlanta. But Tyler Algier, guy out of BYU, this dude packs a punch as well. I feel he's, you can make an argument. It's one of the better tandems in the league. You got Jamal Williams, not a stranger to any Packer fan out there. Spent 4 years in Green Bay. Jamal Williams still running with some purpose. Again, 4 years with the Packers, kind of that back for the Packers. And that's what I see out of Chris Brooks. Honestly, the dude can catch the ball. And when he does, he is like a bullet out of a 153 attempts for 556 yards for Jamal with the Packers, 464 yards, 460 yards, 505. The dude was right in 500 average with the Packers. Obviously, receiving yards, 262, 210, 253, 236. The only reason why I mentioned that is this is a legit running back coming out of BYU, along with Chris Brooks. I see him being a Jamal Williams type of back, kind of that multi-purpose back, and he can potentially see some action, maybe even as early as this Friday. Before you guys think maybe I'm crazy about saying that, well, let's take a look here at what's going on. Let's actually pop over to the depth chart first. Let's look at the depth chart at running back. You've got Josh Jacobs, of course, number 2 guy, Marshawn Lloyd. Marshawn Lloyd still battling that hamstring injury. Yes, he is back at practice this week. He is limited. He didn't practice Tuesday. He's limited on Wednesday. Whether or not he's going to have an impact on Friday's game against Philadelphia, to be determined. Whether he's going to see action or not. You got Emmanuel Wilson, who a lot of Packer fans are excited about. Another guy that packs a punch and isn't afraid of contact, but also can get out of tackles. Emmanuel Wilson, love the dude. He's battling a hip injury right now. So if called upon, the Packers may have to bring up one of the guys from practice squad. You take a look at who is on the practice squad for the Packers. You got Chris Brooks right there at the top. Obviously, you've got Perrine, and then you've got Merriweather. All 3 good running backs, great depth for the Packers on the practice squad, which is good news because you need guys on the practice squad to, when called upon, can step up and have an impact. And I think Chris Brooks is that top guy on our depth chart. Yes, he didn't see any action with the Packers so far. And yes, Merriweather did look pretty decent in preseason. But if it were me giving the rock to somebody, it would be Chris Brooks. If you don't trust that, take a look at highlights of what he is able to do in Miami. Again, a similar style offense in Miami as also with Green Bay. So let's take a look at what this article said. Why did we bring Chris Brooks on board? Obviously, we lost Messiah Swinson, tight end. He joins the Carolina Panthers. Panthers suffer some injury there, hence why the Packers lose him on the practice squad. That's what happens on practice squads. The team announced with that void, they were going to immediately sign Chris Brooks. Again, super excited that we were able to get this guy because what he's able to do when he gets the ball. 19 carries with Miami last year for 106 yards. It goes on to say, leave your comments. Let me know what you guys think about this pick. I am personally super excited about Chris Brooks on this Packer team. But as always, go Pack, go.